he said there's something more in Osu. Ebinum dream Osu ho ebi a castle no dream, but there are a lot of other historical buildings in Depa, because for the last 7 or so years, Miko rounds was, I see these buildings, and I've always tried to bring attention to the fact that say tourism tourism, and yes say ebia Obiako see a Dambia cathedral now be na tourism ba. You have things that are there already. In other countries, so far Jamaica, na Trinidad Tobago, na Cuba, and all those places those old buildings they have, they make sure they refurbish, they renovate, and they maintain them.
That's right.
So the Baya or Beba Hono, who say Yabeka Sadani has been there since 18 something, and now 19 or whatever. Well, I just and Kofa more home, it me some kind of a small microeconomy around the old buildings. Just say Abia Obi Abia I am fan say the Swanaka house, and I am fan say the there are a few other houses I walk also. I just say you go to the houses and you say that, oh, this is the history of this house. Now this is where their ancestors came from. And now you can say also Danish. What is also Danish? One more if it's our area, no, then you can say this is the story of the place. But it's as if when we think about tourism, we don't understand how to localize it so that those people who are from that area, home first of all, and it's just there. We have a whole ministry dedicated to that. I would have hoped, said this Charlie Water Festival, they would have had a greater participation and maybe a lot more support. Said the Bayas year of return now, and it's interesting. Year of return now, it actually started under my father's time. Panafest. That was the gate opener for all of this. And see, if we are moving forward now, it should not just be in Akuffo Addo, Ghana, not just call clubs and now called a restaurants. There be what are the other things that people can link a story to? Where one more eti ebia a Osu, for example, Umbeti say a dying way. This is the story behind it. Now people, there's a channel from here to here. And now the reason why people lived here was because ebia there was a Samashanti royal who was brought to Osu, who was married off to the Banaman a governor. Now, said that family, they actually hail from the royal family in Mesia, that kind of thing. These are stories that wama etihano in this present day youth no cranny nyo bia na ebia owo so a ote so a opese okoye adwuma o baby foforo. If you can localize tourism, it so obia owo so a ebia onim ne family history ni ye na obetimi aka say okay obeye tour guide ewo ha. Now we link them up so that they are also gaining employment within their own locale and they can also improve the economy where they come from.
But my question is, so we are Mrashibigani and we belong to a political party. Moniso adi hunu kasiye pa sabri and say Mobaba Bemu 2024. I mean, with the very fantastic, brilliant idea. But a dear plan also say you bet my by way of advocacy and I feel so share policies. Say if we are buying one now opposition or grandpa, a bit my boy Masagi and yet diasum be keke because when the kaka say oh papa pencil panafest na ye kwan bia no ma bato also by the year of return so e buy ninsunsu so ye nyina na ewo mi eti dia ne bit my by way of policy and advocacy na dia we etimi edi aboye.
Kwame, this is the issue I have with sometimes agencies now because there's a Ghana Tourism Authority. There's an entire ministry dedicated to tourism, arts and culture. Inti all of this must emanate from the executive. Inti abaya neninda bibi sono on to me in fact our policy number. Your capacity to bring about a policy is based on your recognition of the fact that that is an important thing to you. Well, what manifests shows what your intentions are.
But a year of return.
And I make us a year of return. You can't have it in isolation. A dear now what they are connect a grounds are just say one now what's Ghana no ebenya home first so that it doesn't become a day to say one my free diaspora no kwana so ba they have the currency to spend because obviously with the exchange rate and so on they have more fluidity in terms of their movement. One my no unless you are in specific areas you don't gain benefit. How do we ensure that the year of return is something that benefits the indigenous people of the country? Just obey you call a castle now share installations now and I make us say so should be to say year of return one more bank How about a whole package that includes going as far as Larabanga Mosque? No one who say answer now brofo buy we had our own architecture. Wahu, I bet to say Abrofono ne de architecture by. Meanwhile, yen na yen crofo, womade womako hono, and they were part of the building up of Europe. In this all Europe say, now share woman yema wohono. E be before womode yen ho. Womu moja na omdi CC, woma dino omo industry sa wohonina. Inti, you know, let's tell a full story.
Yeah.
Wahu. Inti for me, no, it's not enough. Legislation there, yeah, legislature there, yeah, ya wohono. Emra ena, yeah, main mandate, no, yeshe, wahu. But the policy must emanate from the executive.
And so far, well, it doesn't look like.
I mean, you can't create what is not there. Say, you can't pretend, say, oh, because this is something that would have been quite an interesting thing. Actually, say if you can connect it to the year of return, it means say, year of return, and yet Christmas time now, mobile.